Wait, so what you're saying is that we can say that a lie, and that person can say that I'm lying, and I can just be like, no, it's what I believe, so now it's not a lie.
Mhm.
Yes.
No, because there has to be a line where you draw where false and reality, wrong and right.
You draw the line. You make it up.
This is
To
like
start the
Don't we make up
podcast.
the line though? She has a point. There is a line, but we make up the line too, don't we? We define what's within the realms of what reality and like fantasy, right? We define that,
right, yeah.
right?
This is twisting my head. I don't like it. Okay. Yeah, let's.
Big brain time.
Okay. Who's recording the intro? I think I'll ruin it. Shanti should do it.
You are. It's already recording, so you have to do it.
What?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Black Rose podcast. So today we have a special guest, our friend Nandini, the beautiful one. So
Ouch.
she is here with us today to discuss a topic dear to our hearts. We are discussing the topic of success.
Not that touchy and feely, but okay.
Is it real? What is it? How do we define it? And everything in between. So strap in to your seatbelts as we get on the ride of the Black Rose success train.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming to our podcast. We'll see you next time, because that took half of the episode. Yeah, today we'll be talking about success. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, our guest is Nandini. Do we want to introduce ourselves, talk about what we're pursuing, and maybe we can jump from there?
Are you gonna ask me or do I just go for it?
You just go, honey. Yeah.
I'm ruining your podcast already. It hasn't even started.
All right. So.
You're gonna edit this later, right?
No, it's all raw. Your career is destroyed before it even took off.
Let's just mention
before it even took off. That's so much. You're a pilot. Oh my
getting ahead of yourself.
I'm so funny. I should be excited.
Also, this is Nandini's first podcast, correct?
Wait, does the one we made in English class last year count?
No.
We had a podcast in English last year, didn't we?
You were talking about a book, probably. This is just
book.
Your mind.
Yeah. So this would be my first podcast. Yeah.
So cut her some slack if she blanks out.
Thanks, man.
All right. So, yeah, what are you pursuing? Career-wise, school-wise?
Okay, let's start with the...
Give me your social security number, maybe while you're at it.
Yeah, sure. Let me start with the easier, most straightforward one. Career. So I recently accepted my offer to study science and aviation at the University of Waterloo. So that's the plan so far.
Also the brains in our group. Somewhat. When it comes to reality, it's just but yes, go on.
Yeah, true. I recently found interest the field of aviation and flying planes, and I'm still interested in biology and the human body. So I'm kind of doing both in the degree, exploring my interests, biology, human anatomy and physiology, majoring in bio, but also getting a pilot license to fly.
Solid.
Potentially for an airline company someday, but that might change. I don't know. So there's two things. I like both.
Okay. Cool.
That's about it.
My co-host Sabrina, you're pursuing a life on the streets because you're not going to school. She's pursuing music. She's gonna become
guitar.
Who said that?
I did. You did.
I'm answering my question. I make up my own reality, remember?
Oh my god. Okay.
There we go.
I used to be interested in music, but if you do your research, a college degree or a university degree in music gets you nowhere. It gets you in debt.
Yes, school is a fraud.
That should be another podcast.
It is. We already did it.
Okay.
Did we?
Yeah. It was the first episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Music is just a hobby. I don't want to make it something it's supposed to be a creative process. I don't want to make a creative process my line of income,
Mhm.
because then you're going to dry out and burn out.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to happen.
But you also need a push, you know, to like fuel out your.
It can just be fun. I don't want to force it into something that it is.
Okay, fair enough. Your girl doesn't know what to do with her life. She wants to pursue law enforcement, police foundations in Sheridan, because she's not smart enough to go to university. No, actually, I just like their program. And then I also want to pursue acting back home in Ikra University. So we're just gonna see where life takes us. Yeah. Okay. Now, I want to ask Nandini this because I mean you could answer this, Sabrina, but I think it's like easier to answer it from her perspective, which is if like once you get your your solid career and you're a pilot,
Like after I'm done graduating? Yeah. Okay.
please don't start flying a plane before you graduate.
Well, we kind of have to though.
Well,
Like the training
yeah.
that you fly planes to like learn how to fly. No, I'll shut up. Go on.
Yeah. So do you think then you are successful?
After graduating?
Yeah, what makes you successful in that point, or even in school or your life right now? Are you successful or not?
I guess that really,
Tell me
sorry.
failure.
I guess that really depends on how you define success. You know, there isn't a definition set in stone, really. Immediately though, like the majority, even me, at like first glance, when I think success, I think I don't know, being super rich, you know, having all the latest fancy stuff, tech, you know, having achieved something very academically. That's probably because of my background, you know, South Indian and everything. Uh, academically, you're only considered successful if you have like a PhD or whatever, you know. So a bachelor's degree that doesn't really make you feel that successful, or like graduating high school. They kind of make it feel like it's not a big deal. So guess kids like me are like generally not very. They don't feel like we don't feel like we're successful because we feel like nothing we ever do is enough because society and what we're constantly told like from a very little age is that you have to keep, you know, it's the next thing, you know. There's no stopping to just pause and rewind and reflect on, you know, whatever you've accomplished so far. No, there's no time for any of that. You ace this class, you have another class to ace, you know, just keeps going. And then it's honestly, so if you would ask me, I would say no, I don't feel like I'm successful, and that's probably not a good way to go about it. You shouldn't have the mindset I'm having right now. I'm working on it. I think success should be broken down into like little bits and pieces. Like start by like having a positive mindset, a good mentality to things. Right? Be success. I would say you should consider yourself successful if you're more compassionate to yourself. You know, if you let yourself you know, pause, just hit pause sometimes, reflect, so you'll have the energy to go do more. You know, it should start small. If you should consider yourself successful if you can see the good, focus on the good, you know, because we always focus on what's wrong, what's the bad, you know, the bad stuff happening in the world. Not everybody has what it takes to, you know, constantly look at the bright side. So that should be considered successful. I think it should start with having a good mental frame, mindset, whatever, right? If you're strong mentally, I think you can go ahead to achieve whatever career or personal goals. You could have say you're mentally not stable, you constantly keep beating yourself up for everything you do. You're constantly not happy or unhappy, keep finding fault with everything. You're not going to have a good relationship with your family, friends, or loved ones in general. You're just going to be disturbed all the time. You're going to be restless. Same thing, you're academically, your career is also going to get hit because you're constantly moving on to the next thing instead of, you know, starting small and cherishing every little thing you do. So that should be considered successful, having the right mindset. I think if you try to, you know, work on that, the traditional definitions of being successful, whatever, you know, job wise or whatever, that will fall in place or whatever you have in your mind. So I guess it starts mentality wise. You should have a sound mental mindset or an outlook or whatever, Yeah.
All right. And then I think about this a lot because I'm an individual who carries lots of interests in many areas,
Yeah.
but not necessarily wants to pursue them all the way and kind of just wants to dip my toe into this kind of like
Mhm.
hobby or something. And then if I don't want to pursue that any longer, I'm considered a loser or like a dropout or like doesn't work hard enough. So what I see as successful in one view is that like trying is also kind of winning, because putting
Definitely.
your attempt in that and your effort, and it's scary sometimes, and to be able to put that to the side and kind of like just be courageous and brave and go head on, that is success in my
That
opinion.
is successful by itself, yes. You're basically, again, talking about mentality,
Yeah.
right? It takes a special kind of mental resilience or courage to, go out, try different things, because not everybody has their mind and life set on just one thing, this one career goal ever since they were a kid. Many kids like so many different things, and they shouldn't be made to feel inferior or not successful because they're not pursuing something, full-fledged or whatever. They should be congratulated, and they should be told that they're successful because they're willing to try and be bold to take that step.
Yeah.
Completely right.
And that's why I am okay with kind of participant awards or certificates.
Mhm.
Like, I think that's completely fine to encourage children to work harder and try their best and do their best and not what someone else's is. Because I think that's also very toxic to be able to, yes, it's great to compare and reflect and be like, this can be me, but make that you, not someone else. Don't lose yourself while you're at it. Yeah. What's your say on that, Sabrina?
On success in general?
Yeah, any point, yeah.
We define it, but we also we've been told what it is subconsciously or like verbally by people.
Yeah.
Whether it be through media or actual parents telling us what it is, just society, your teachers, everybody around you. And then you're told what it is, and you also have you're also like determining it on your own to what it is. Because I feel like when you're a child, you just believe everything you hear. And then when you're a teenager, you start to think for yourself and question. That's why like teenagers always be fighting with their parents, because they have a brain now.
They have their own
Function.
mind. They're their own person.
They can think for themselves, not just blindly accept whatever is being, thrown at them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I want to just for a second go to the traditional kind of definition of success just for this one question, and that is do you think there are external factors stopping you from becoming successful? Like, say, let's bring in our skin tone. If we want to reach a certain position in a workplace, for us to do that, we are constantly being judged either at the interview or people that are not supporting us but want to say they are supporting us and then backstabbing. Like, I don't know. Putting it out there. Don't attack me in the comments.
I work at Harvey's. I haven't been in like a workplace that's like this. Also, I'm white, so I don't know.
But also, well, let's talk about this. Yes, there is that thing where like if we have somebody who is a person of color and then someone who's white, they will lean towards someone who is a person of color. But when it comes to a point, like for example, if we're like in Pakistan, for example, and there is someone who is they're from North Asia, they're from China, and people from China always come to Pakistan because we're like at the border, so we're always like exchanging stuff business wise. So if we have someone who is studying in a university at our school, they will want someone who is Chinese in comparison to someone who is Pakistan, just so they can get that that representation. So if we're an example, for example, we're in like Mississauga where it's really brown, we can't deny it. You don't see too many people of that skin tone, like being white and Caucasian. You do want a white person because once again, you don't want too many brown people, you don't want too many Filipinos, which was happening at my workplace. There were a lot of Filipinos. And then immediately you saw people, before they got reported, there was me, brown, there were Black people, there were Vietnamese. So there was that representation later on before they got caught. But yeah, I don't know.
You're saying success can be swayed by your race.
I think it can, to an extent.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the actual just definition of success? Not even towards career. I'm thinking it just means winning, right?
It says something about achieving and overcoming or something, a goal. There were two definitions. Let me just search it right now.
Yeah, I don't like the traditional definition. It's
What is the traditional definition?
kind of horrible. Did you read it? Are you reading it?
No, I didn't search it in yet.
Oh, okay. It says the accomplishment of an aim or purpose, the attainment of popularity or profit.
Ew. Ew.
It's kind of horrible.
Yeah, it's kind of just narrow-minded.
Ah,
It's like this one, like, yes, they're not wrong. That is
they're not wrong, but
that's not the sole definition or possibility of being successful.
exactly. So this definition is why a lot of kids beat themselves up. They think they're stupid, not worthy enough, they're not successful enough, when in reality they actually are, amazing.
Yeah.
But because, okay, what this is saying, the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. So all of us can relate, okay? So we were probably taught, if we're done with past grade 9 final exams, pass this class course, I'm good, and then grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, high school, I'm good. And then after high school comes, I don't know, university or college or whatever path you decide. Say you choose university. And then we'll be like, okay, this semester, this course, I need to get this grade.
Mhm.
Then I'll be good. But then it never stops there, does it? It just goes on. And then after you graduate, you're like, okay, once I get a job, then I'll consider myself successful.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get the job, you're not happy you got the job. You're just like, okay, I need this promotion. I need to go to this rank.
Or you need a family, or you need that. Then when you have kids, you need to make sure they're successful. Like, you see how toxic that is? That's so unhealthy. That's not success. That's draining. That's making yourself so robotic and so not real. There's no beauty in that then.
It also drives you to do stuff. What if nothing's driving you to get better at anything, you're just going to stay stagnant in the same spot, not improving.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing and a bad thing. You need it, but it also can hurt you in certain ways, but it helps you grow.
But I think they can still do that without making it so, because it's a lot more abstract than that. It's not this grade is success and this is failure. It's so much more that, because me getting a C might be my best grade ever, while for someone else that might be their lower point. See, like because in elementary I was a straight C student because I had a learning disability, and no one knew that, so they didn't know how to approach it when it came to teaching me, and for me to learn, I learned differently. So when they did realize that, they brought me into a different classroom, smaller sized kids with like minds of mine. So I was kind of able to relate and grow from there. And from there, I did improve. But that didn't mean that my C was any less worthy, because at that point, I was struggling. So my C was everything to me. It was all I could get when they weren't teaching me properly. And welcome to my TED Talk. I messed it up. I always see that on Instagram. Okay, yeah.
We're just kind of merging your point with whatever Sabrina just said. So it can be good and bad. Bad in the sense it can make you stagnant. Good in the sense kind of keeps you going. What do you think kept you kind of motivated or going, after that point?
Putting me on the spot here. Okay. Take it though. Okay. I think my kind of the reason why I kept going was more of a healthy reason, thank God. It wasn't to be like, oh, so I can be better than Stacy, or I can make my parents feel like, okay, we brought her to Canada and like she's living her good life now. It was more so I can be content with myself and know that I did my best. At the end of the day, if it was still a C, if it was my best, I did everything I could do internally and did what I could to change the external factors if that was my classroom setting or something. And I did my best. And sometimes I don't get that A, but I'm still very happy. And sometimes I get an A and I'm just like, why isn't this like giving me adrenaline? Why am I not joyous? So it's really meant a mental state to be successful. It's not that external factor. Yeah.
It's how you perceive it, I guess. Like how you said you were happy with the C because you got that giving it your all. And you shouldn't be made to feel bad because of that. Because just because some kid got an A+ in the class doesn't mean your C is worth any less.
Yes.
Because you did give it your all, So it's, I guess, you in the sense connecting it to the mental factor is you being compassionate with yourself. Making peace with yourself, saying that, it's okay that I did not get an A. I'm okay with the C because I gave it my all. And if that's what I got, so be it, Maybe I'll try better next time. Or maybe, I don't know. If I was in your place, the way I was brought up and society, everything, and even my messed up head, if I'd gotten a C, I would beat myself up. And I tell myself, it's not the end of the world. You say I tried my best and I got a C. I would compare myself to the smartest kid in the class and be like, if she can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
That is so toxic. I'm trying to break the habit. I really am, but it's hard and it's effort.
It's a habit and it's gonna take some reminders.
You need constant, mental, just reinforcement. You have to just talk to yourself, tell yourself, be more compassionate to yourself. Appreciate the little things you do, so that maybe one day you can drive yourself to a bigger goal, by being satisfied with the little ones you achieved all along the way.
And like, say that you got that C, or say you didn't even pass, for something happened. But sometimes people forget that like they're going through stuff mentally. There's depression, and that's why you're not able to be there during that exam. And then you have to remember, I'm okay though. Like, I feel like we've just done this materialistic thing that success and cars are success and having this much in my bank account is success. Like, no, sometimes being happy and calm and healthy is also a sense of success.
Yes.
And I feel like it's also a fault in our school system because not everyone learns with a paper and pen.
Everybody learns in different ways, different settings, different modes of teaching.
Absolutely.
And everybody, we're not equal. All kids, we're not. Each and every one of us have a different life story, different background. We come from different places, different family households, different environments we're brought up in. Maybe the smartest kid had a really good upbringing, or maybe they're just blessed genetically, IQ and all, whatever. Doesn't mean they're working their butt off every day, because that's what back in India, I was made to feel like the smartest kid, whoever he or she studied day and night, every day, didn't waste time like me, on my phone, playing on my iPad, whatever. But then sometimes it took me a lot of years to understand the smartest kid, not like they're not working hard 24/7 all the time. Sometimes they're genetically gifted, or they're much more mental, much more stable, in their headspace, They've never, many parents and people, they don't tell you that there's a huge mental component to it. There's a upbringing part of it. There's a genetic part of it, you're just made to feel bad, you're gonna get an A.
Yeah.
And that's toxic. That shouldn't be the case. It's not black and white. There's so many shades of,
There are a lot of areas when it comes to being successful.
We gotta make Sabrina talk.
I know.
A lot.
Do you think success is only with school? Because all I hear is
no.
I
That's
think
what we're made to think, but no.
Yeah.
So like what's another thing that I think of when people talk about success is like being married, having a house, having children, having, you know, do you agree
I
with
think
that?
that, yeah, I think that comes after, say, typically in India, or I don't know, other Asian cultures. Um, First, it's always like this: ace school, ace undergraduate, postgraduate studies, everything, get a great job, great salary, whatever, and then look for a spouse or marry the guy. We found you off this website, arranged marriage, something like that. And then nobody cares about your academic achievements so far. After that point, it's, oh, when are you gonna have kids? When am I gonna have grandkids? It's just horrible.
Yeah.
Think about it. So I think the definition changes as you get older. So
I
first,
think
when you're a
over
student,
the environment you've been in.
yeah, your culture where you're brought up, most of the time it's toxic. That we can agree on.
Yes, we can. She said that like 4 times now. Like she's really passionate about it.
So then you have kids, you have a house, and your kids grow up and they go and be successful. Then you retire. Then what do you do in retirement? Then you reflect on your life of success because you're able to retire with all this money.
Can I say one point?
Mhm.
So right now, currently in my life, and like for the foreseeable future, I see myself doing multiple hobbies which give me joy. And for example, painting or drawing. Well, every time I paint a piece, I feel success in that. And sometimes, and I paint abstract art, so like not everyone can appreciate it, and that's understandable. But sometimes when I make like a landscape and it's like something a little bit more where people can appreciate, and it's a little more, people are like, yeah, that's art. I don't feel successful in it because it's not something that I put my heart into, my blood, sweat, and tears into, my time, my passion wasn't in that. So it's also like what you value. A lot of that is that it's not always like stage 1 of your life, school. How do you succeed in school? Career. How do you succeed? It's also like the little projects in your life or on yourself. Like, how do I become a better person? How do I become a more, yeah.
You're making all my points. Yes, I was gonna say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be stage-wise broken, School, academic life,
Yeah.
postgraduate, whatever, family, kids success, governing your success as a parent. No, it shouldn't be. I'm just saying you're saying the same thing too. You should consider the little things you do in between, how you've bettered yourself, learning a specific skill, hobby, how you've, I don't know, how you've been more compassionate with yourself and others, how you treat yourself, and how you, view problems, how you approach things, do you always see the fault? Do you always see the good side? All the little things, how you perceive life, how your outlook on life,
Yeah.
basically. Those little things, they should be considered, the success part of it should be given more emphasis to, on those little things, rather than the milestones or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Because that's not what defines us really. It's the little moments, the time we spend with people, with ourselves, that the mental part of it, that's what defines how we work, academically, career-wise, and personally. So
Yeah.
the mental component plays a huge role.
For
So
sure.
it's so not, it's understated. They don't really talk about it. Nobody talks about it, how important that is.
What about you, Sabrina? Do you agree to disagree?
See, the thing is, we define success, and I've noticed that like, as we develop and grow throughout our lives, I feel like we're different people. Like, if you look at yourself when you were like, I don't know, like 10 years ago, how old were you? 8 years old? Like, I think that if you were to talk to yourself, like, say there's like a time machine of you and your 8-year-old self, like, those are two completely different people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to keep happening. Like, every 5 years, like, you're going to be a new person. And that new person is going to have a new definition of success. So not only for me and you is it different, but for ourselves. Like, it's going to change as we change.
That's true.
Yeah.
Everything's going to change,
See, I don't like Sabrina because she makes my mind twist, and it's like
Maybe we can look at it this way. Change, right? She spoke about change.
yeah.
Another part of it that should be another aspect that should be considered when talking about success is that your adaptability, flexibility to
Mhm.
an ever-changing dynamic environment. Because not many people are peaceful, make peace with change. Some don't handle it very well. The ability to, you know, little, be comfortable in an uncomfortable space. You know, finding comfort and discomfort. Yes, I guess that's how it goes. Something like that. That should also be considered successful. How gracefully and beautifully you uh, embrace change and how you factor that into your life gracefully and not, be harsh to yourself. I was like this back then and now I'm like this and I wish I was like this back then instead of being like, and the more that I talk about it, the more I realize how toxic I am. Because everything I tell you right now, I do it in
Right.
my head.
Yeah.
And I really want to break out of it. I don't want to, but it's just not enough, knowing about it. You have to implement it
For
in
sure.
life. And that's the harder part. That's,
Yeah.
knowing is the first step.
Yeah.
And yes, you should consider yourself successful for, even doing it. Because a lot of people, they don't even talk about it. They don't think about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're better in that sense. But
Mhm.
then we will be, a step further closer to being very truly successful when we actually start
Yeah.
implementing the stuff we talk about.
Mhm.
And I think all of us are right in our own ways. We all have made valid points,
Yeah.
and it's really nice to hear everything. Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where you can have your own view on this, and if it helps you reach your goal, then kudos to you.
Yeah.
Like, it might not work for everyone, it
Mhm.
work for you. Like, great. So I guess we're on wrapping this up almost, and to
Mhm.
do that, I want to ask, what do you guys like in your like coming years, or in like 10-15 years, however, whatever you want to pick, what do you want to be successful in? Like, what area, what component, what is something that's gonna make you like feel like I've succeeded, I've
It's gonna
achieved?
be a huge list.
Break down your huge list.
Yes, do that for us.
Like I've been saying, it's I would definitely like to be what I would consider successful. Looking back, something I implemented right now would be being more compassionate to myself. I beat myself up a lot. I get one question wrong, and I got a plain question wrong yesterday. We were doing physics and math kind of combined. It was a plain question. I want to become a pilot, right? So I was like, you can't mess this up. This is very important. And I messed it up. I forgot to subtract 10 from an angle. And I messed the entire thing up. And the amount I beat myself up for it, wow, I'm still shook, It's just so crazy. Being more compassionate. And that affects everything.
Yeah.
And then that was yesterday. Today I saw a post on Instagram. I noticed something about somebody's whatever, right? And then that affected me so much. Like the math was a academic field and this was like personal. That affected me so much. I was literally having a panic attack. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to deal with it. And because of that, I couldn't do any of the work listed today. I had work for physics, math, whatever, nutrition. I couldn't do anything because my head was so messed up. And I was just so focused on beating myself up and looking at the wrong things, everything that were beautiful things happened today. I laughed a lot today, but I didn't think about that. That was out of my head. Now I'm more calm. I'm, able to look at everything and reflect. But holy God, I did not think of that. I only focused on the bad things and everything that went wrong, and I beat myself up for it. And I think many of us do too. It might not be over a math question, but it might be over many things in life. Just little things, and you just, be so hard on yourself. You shouldn't be hard. You shouldn't impose your thoughts or feelings or opinions on others, and you shouldn't do the same too. You should be more kind, more compassionate, starting with yourself.
Yeah.
And then I guess once you're in a more stable mental state, because of that, you'll also be nicer to others. You'll also get more work done. And, you could go from being successful from there. So I guess it starts for me, what I would consider, you know, very for me to be very successful. What I need to do right now is to be kinder and stop focusing on the bad things, because so many good things happen. One bad thing happens, and that's all I can think about. It is the definition of toxic. I know I said 100 times, but it's horrible. It messes up everything. It shakes up the foundation. You can't be nice with your loved ones. You can't be nice to your friends, family. You can't be nice. You can't do your work properly. You can't get anything done. So the mental aspect of it can't overstate its importance. So I think if I master that, if I try to be more, if I try to, do that well, everything will fall apart, in place. So I guess I should start from there. And from there, if I do that, maybe things will definitely change. They get better. I will be more at peace. My mom will, won't have to put up a lot of crap. She'll be more at peace. That I'm a pain because of this mindset. It's horrible. So yeah, definitely starting there.
It's like a cage almost, like you're in a jail cell with your mind. Okay.
And we talked about the traditional definition of success, right? Mm-hmm. Did it anywhere mention headspace, mental compassion, whatever, the way you look at it? But we know now, we see how important that is, right? How it defines everything else. Yeah. How everything else is based off of this mental aspect. We see that, and then we don't talk about it. But that's great. Yay, society. Your parents.
Kind of like ties anything and everything else you want to succeed doing in life. Yeah. Okay. Let's go, Sabrina. What do you want to succeed in? Don't say like a conspiracy thing to me. My mind is already twisted enough.
Like, obviously, like, stable income, that's pretty nice. You kind of need that in society. Strong, like, relationships with friends, family, because, like, being alone is sad, and I don't want to be sad. You need to talk
to a puppy or a cat if you can't find people.
Get yourself a puppy or a cat.
Puppy. Say people betray you and you feel lonely.
What?
Just get a puppy or a cat if you're a cat person. Go to a barn, pet horses. It helps. I've tried it.
You know what's underrated? Cows. Cows are so underrated.
They're cute. They're very cute.
So
beautiful.
Where are you going to see cows?
No, my brother's in Japan and we're on a work permit or like a work visa. Yeah, that's what it's called, not a work.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Work visa. And so what he's doing is like he's working on a farm and in Japan, and so he takes photos of like the cows and what he's doing, and the cows are like my baby. I love cows. That has nothing to do with today's topic.
So I have an idea.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
So you know how I talked about different people, like we are different people? So I think we should do a follow-up episode in like 5 years, maybe 10 years. See what happens.
We're doing that. Yeah,
we're definitely doing that.
Yeah,
look at how much your definition of success has changed, or how much we've achieved, based on whatever we just.
That's cool. Okay.
So cool. That is so cool. We're doing that.
Now.
We would have been done all of our like undergrads or whatever we're trying to work towards for a career, or like somewhat into it, and seeing if it's fulfilling us in that way.
Yeah, or if we like change that career or something, or like working at McDonald's, maybe, possibly, don't know, could be. Now, what do I see success as? What do I want to succeed in? One thing that I've been like kind of attempting at for like the past years is like making my relationships strong, more specifically with my siblings, because we are like, I'm born with an age gap, like an age difference. They're not only a different age, but like a different maturity. They've experienced everything I've already experienced. So to be able to kind of build a bond and strengthen our relationship would be something I'd like to succeed in. and kind of, yeah, cool beans. Yeah. Any last comments, questions, concerns, kids? We can end the
Let's
pod.
talk about the future.
Is that part of the podcast?
We're talking about success in our future. But
Oh,
I just want to like, so you know how the present is right now, and then the future is the future, but we are in the future because it's the next second,
Right.
and the past was 1 second ago.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yes.
It's hard to like think of stuff in the future, like I'm gonna change. It's gonna be tomorrow. That was yesterday. It's just a constant flow, and I don't really see the future. I don't know. We can only live in the present.
I don't think anyone sees the future.
No, like we're like looking towards the future. Like I want to be this type of person.
Mm.
We're all to set, like everybody loves to set goals and be like, I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to whatever.
Mm.
Like not a lot of people are motivated. I feel like there's an idea of liking the idea of doing something, of pursuing something, than actually putting in the time and the effort to do it. And then you'll think about it, like kind of procrastinating.
Yeah.
Like you're thinking about being good at it.
Yeah.
Not actually doing it.
That's so true.
For sure. No, your statement stands. I agree with it.
Everyone does it. We like to talk about stuff more than we like to do stuff.
Yeah, and that's why they say that accomplish your goals first before you share what you want to pursue, because that means you'll be a lot more successful in it than you will when you share your like secrets or your desires or your hopes or your dreams, because then you're kind of like, you're kind of just relaxed now. But when no one knows it, you're more determined to prove it. And it's a psychological thing. It's like science.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so, I mean, I think like if you want to have goals and everything, it's cool. I know it's really nice to share your dreams and your hopes with everyone. But I think it's better to like maybe like have that in a diary or something where you can like reflect and look at your goals, build timelines, build like when smaller goals within that big goal. So that way you can kind of like see your growth and appreciate it. Because not everyone is out there for your success. Not everyone is out there for the best interest in you, as much as it may seem like it.
Mm-hmm. True.
101 tips for today on success. But yes, yeah.
So 10 years we're coming back.
5 years, 10
whatever.
years.
I don't know, both. Tomorrow?
No.
10
years. Or like 5 years?
Both.
It's solid.
It's like after, undergrad.
I swear if we don't get a reunion, I'm gonna cry. We didn't get a grad. We didn't get a prom.
Apparently we're getting one. We're getting one, prom and grad.
October.
In what?
October.
We're still getting one. That's not canceled indefinitely, right?
No one's gonna go.
Why not?
No one's gonna go.
Okay, forget prom. Grad. Grad's like a big deal, right?
Did you buy your gown and your hat cap? Because I didn't. I don't know where to buy it.
I didn't. Did they send out an email?
I don't know.
No.
But, yeah, we're graduating. We're seniors. We're going to be successful, hopefully, inshallah. Okay, so I'm going to end this podcast here. That's my co-host, Sabrina. I actually don't know if I'm positioned in the way that, like, I see myself. That's Nandini. She's probably somewhere else. I'm Shanze. Do follow her on her Instagram. We'll link that down below. And thanks for tuning in. Bye, lovelies. Is it recording? It's still recording.